Exercise 21-32, contribution margin per unit, contribution margin ratio, and total contribution margin. Complete the table below for contribution margin per unit, total contribution margin, and contribution margin ratio. Okay, so I'm gonna write the formulas down, then we're gonna do the same thing for A, B, and C. Okay, so contribution margin per unit is sales price less variable cost per unit. Total contribution margin, you can just take contribution margin per unit and multiply it with the number of units, or you can find the total sales and subtract total variable cost. Contribution margin ratio, it's contribution margin divided by sales. If you take this one per unit, this one should be per unit. If this is total, this one should be in total. So pause the video and calculate these three for A, B, and C. So for A, contribution margin per unit will be sales price less variable cost. So I got 760. I'm gonna write it down here. Okay, so this is in dollars. Total contribution margin, I can just multiply the 760 with the number of units here, the 1,800. I'm gonna get 1,368,000. Or you can multiply 1,900 by 1,800 units to get the total sales. Then 1,140 by 1,800 to find the total variable cost, then subtract total variable cost from the total sales. You're gonna get the same answer as this. So let me write it down here. 1,368,000. For the contribution margin ratio, it's gonna be contribution margin divided by sales price, or total contribution margin divided by total sales. So I got 40%. Okay, that's contribution margin per unit divided by the sales price. I did the same for B. I got 250 for the contribution margin per unit. For the total contribution margin, I multiplied the 250 with the number of units, which is 9,790. I got 2,447,500. For the contribution margin ratio, I divided 250 by the sales price, which is 500. I got 50%. Now for C, contribution margin per unit will be 800 less 480, so I got $320. For the total contribution margin, I multiplied the 320 with the number of units, which is 1,410, and I got $451,200. Last one, for the contribution margin ratio, I'm gonna divide contribution margin per unit, which is 320, by the sales price, which is 800, and I got 40%. Now, in another question, he's asking for variable cost ratio. What do you think the variable cost ratio will be? Now, as you know, sales less variable cost equals contribution margin. Now, ratio is divided by the sales. So for example, if contribution margin ratio was 60%, what's gonna be the variable cost ratio? Sales ratio is always 100%. Why? Because sales divided by sales, it's 1, it's 100%. So what's going to be the variable cost ratio? It's going to be 40%. Okay, hope that it's clear. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, please leave a comment. Please like, share and subscribe.